Hello everybody, welcome back to the Divinity Guide. Right, we've got a little dialogue to get through first.
No one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know.
Get it while it's fresh.
I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times. But what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Quiver in their mouldy boots.
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone. Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish? This man should learn to stand on his own 2 feet.
I suppose you've got a point.
Okay, so that little bit of dialogue there, you get the... What is it? Okay, so I went with the righteous trait as opposed to the renegade. And then I missed what that said. Here, let me
Oh, hello,
look really
love.
quick what
Nice day for a little stroll around the market, isn't
between
it?
those two are. Righteous is... Okay, leadership increased by 1, and renegade is pickpocketing +1. So, depends on what you want, I guess.
Generous at the moment. My crew ran off, and I can't find enough hardy souls to help me reload the ship and sail off. Those scallywags heard there be silver in the Lacula mines, and they abandoned ship like the lily-livered turkeys they are. Haven't seen them since the day we docked. Some poor chaps lost their ship and want some work. Just send them to me, and tell them there's a bit of coin and a lot of rum coming their way if they don't mind a bit of honest labor.
So anyways, like I was saying earlier there, I went with righteous on both of my characters. You don't necessarily need that, or you don't necessarily need to have both of your characters have the leadership trait, although, I don't know, I feel like it's more useful. I mean, pickpocketing is okay, but I would rather have the leadership on both characters. Okay, and then, oh gosh, I almost forgot. We spoke with Captain Jack, so Captain Jack is the one of 2 choices you can make with the sailors down at the docks. The guys down at the docks, their ship, what did it burn down, I think, or was destroyed by orcs or whatever, and so they're looking for work, and then Captain Jack's sailors actually took off and went to, what did they say, the mines or something like that. So he's looking for some sailors.
If you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved in the night like me dear plump Ogget, the finest in me herd. Now that the herd's gone, old Bertie's just scratching by like a hen till the next batch of beasties comes through. I recently sold most of the tender loves to a trader heading north. Plenty of business that way these days. Those miners must be preparing for a mighty great feast. Wish I could have a nibble on my dear darlings, all ground and spiced. Yes. Oh, Ogget's been missing for more than a fortnight. I love that sheep, you know. Was planning to cook her into a fine midwinter night haggis myself. Do tell me if you hear anything about her. I plan on pursuing whoever stole her with my cleaver in hand.
Okay, so that's Bertia. But anyway, so back to Captain Jack. We'll get to Bertia here in a second. But Captain Jack there, like I was saying earlier, you've got the choice. Either you can, and I'm actually going to finish that up right now. But anyways, the sailors down here, you can either send them to Captain Jack or you can send them to the Fabulous 5. I went with the Fabulous 5, and that is I think it's the egotistical trait. as opposed to altruistic, and so I'll get
Have you
the
found us
extra
a job yet? If so, there's a captain offering
egotistical
booze
trait
and
there,
brass
which is,
for a bit of
you know, the
crate
increase to
making.
bartering.
Gods be praised. You've done it, friend. Off we go.
Oh, and then, okay, so if you notice there, so I didn't even get an option there to pick between sending them to the Fabulous Five or Captain Jack. And that's because I didn't actually mention that the sailors were looking for work to, and I forget his name. I want to say it's like Mendius or something like that. It's the guy right outside the inn, the one that initially spoke to us about the Fabulous Five. So obviously I had to reload my game there, and then we'll go talk to them, or go talk to him about the sailors.
I
Oh
never.
yeah, and
So
here's
what do you think?
this is just a repeat of
That merchant
the
has to
fisher
eat
or the
too.
fish thief. Yeah, and there's the righteous choice there. Oh, and then it looks like, okay, let's talk to Captain Jack again. We'll update the log. And then, whiff, womp, womp. So there, I failed to apply invisible. So that's due to my dexterity not being so great right now. I will be increasing that later.
How
Yeah,
fares
Mendius.
your
Okay.
first quest, hero and hunter? Fabulously. You found new recruits already? Efficient. Proactive. Oh, I like that. Send them to me and I'll sign them up. And of course, since they're your recruits, you'll get a share of every assignment they complete. Isn't that
Okay.
fabulous?
All right. So if it wasn't already completely obvious, the Fabulous Five are not only con artists, but they've essentially set up their whatever. If you, it's almost like a criminal enterprise here. It's set up as a pyramid scheme. So I don't know. I don't think I caught the whole pyramid scheme aspect to it the first time I played the game. A lot of this dialogue I just rushed through. So kind of funny on second inspection.
Have you found us a job yet? So, any leads?
Oh, a source hunter.
We should
Okay,
tell
so
them
there
to
you go.
join us as part of
So
the
now I've
Fabulous
got
Five.
the
We'll get a cut of their
second
earnings that
option.
way. Everybody wins. They'll make fabulous adventurers.
The Fabulous Five.
Okay, and so there you have it. If you want to, if you've got your characters going like different routes, so like if one is going egotistical and one is going altruistic, that's obviously you'll need to make that a split choice there, and then you'll have to go through the the little dialogue game to see who wins. So again, I'm going to, as always, I'm going to keep all of my choices the exact same.
My gods, what is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you?
Okay, so this is Cecilia. If you go into your inventory and you use the red teleporter pyramid, you'll be teleported
pyramid, eh?
inside here to Cecilia's
Frivolous and lecherous magic,
room.
more like. Leave my house.
or the
For
bathroom,
the
or
divines
whatever
punish you
of.
for your aberrant ways.
I don't know if this is like a public bathroom. I guess I was a little
No,
confused
if
on
you
what this
please.
actually was. That's what it
This room is
seems like.
private.
But there, if you notice, we've got the dialogue option there and the little mini game. And so actually what I did here was I just kept reloading until I won. And that got me a little bit of extra
I never
experience.
imagined my bathroom would be such a hub of community activity. Oh, do be a dear and show yourself out, won't you?
Okay, so now that I think about it, that's the weirdest bathroom I've ever seen. I mean, there's a bedroom in there.
No!
I don't know. Seems weird to call this a bathroom, but okay, whatever. So anyways, that's where the second teleporter pyramid is at, and the teleporter pyramids are, man, I don't know if I wonder if they're absolutely necessary now that I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they are or not, but incredibly useful. I would bet actually that a couple of the puzzles in the game are not doable without it. I could be wrong on that, but anyways, like I said, incredibly useful. So I'm going to rob this place blind here. And unfortunately, since Cecilia is in the tub, you can't get her to look around. You can actually come back here later, though, and she'll be out. And you can chat with her then, and then kind of make her face different directions. So if you don't have walk-in shadows, you'll have to probably wait until later on to rob her blind. But again, if you do, obviously you can do what I'm doing right now and just kind of rob her right in front of her face. So, oh, I'm almost out of time. There we go. So just be careful that you don't. Oh, ooh. Okay. I guess that counts as stealing from Cecil, so maybe it doesn't matter if you just steal in front of her face. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I was not sneaking when I took that painting off the wall, and nothing happened, so maybe you can just steal here right in plain sight. I'm not sure. But again, otherwise, just come back later. She will not be in the tub, and then you can actually speak with her and make her kind of look away so that you can do your sneaky business. Okay. Other than that, boy, I almost forgot to talk about Bertia. So Bertia there was talking about her sheep. Has been missing for however long, I forget. And it's actually kind of funny when you speak to some of the Legionnaires in town, they'll mention that, like, oh, blah, 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 this happened, someone stole my sheep. Zombies ate my child or something like that. They've got some goofy lines that are, I mean, obviously pretty funny. But that is one of the things that the Legionnaires will talk about. And the sheep, we will actually figure out what happened to that a bit later. I won't spoil it quite yet, but it does have to do with, or it's part of, the overall plot of the game. So it's not just a side quest. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm trying to think now if I've opened up that chest, the one that was inside the bathroom there. I'm not sure. Oh, and I got so my lucky charm looked like it triggered there. Town hall bathroom. It says town hall bathroom. Huh. Okay, so it actually, I'm just looking at my game now, and it does look like I've been back and obtained everything that was in that chest. So.
Ho hum.
Okay, so what are we doing here? Ah, yes. Stealing from Cecil. Alright, so the key to Cecil's, I don't know, was this his living room or whatever? Is actually over by the flower pot. And, oh, I stepped in through the doorway.
We'll have none of that, you
Oh,
hear?
yeah, this is where I was intentionally trying to make him angry now, because I wanted to see what would happen. So I've done that actually a few other times. Now, if you can tank your standing with the citizens enough, they will just fight you. And I mean, I guess that it's kind of fun to do it every once in a while, just to fight people in town, I guess. I don't know. It's, your typical Baldur's Gate type thing where if you want to, you can just slaughter everyone. But I don't know. I'm not going to be doing that, obviously. I think that that's just silly. But again, it is kind of entertaining to do every once in a while. Just go through a town and wipe everything out. So, but anyway, so like I said, the key to this place is near the flower pot. Just make sure that you're sneaking while you actually enter the room, and you can close the door behind you if you want. It makes it, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how necessary that is. As long as you've got someone speaking with Cecil, I think you're okay. There is another character or another NPC that paths up and down the stairs, though. So you may want to watch out for that, but I don't think I had any troubles here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna swipe everything from here. Oh god, funny. Okay, so I was just looking at my footage again of the other room, in like the bathroom, and I noticed I grabbed a key. There's a key in the corner by the basically the opposite side of the wall that I'm at right now. And like I said, there's a key back there, and I think that's the key to that chest. So I don't know if I just didn't notice that I had picked up a key or what the deal was there, but yeah, I think that was kind of funny. One thing I will say though, like once you've already taken everything out of that room back there, I would say it's a good idea to close the door behind you. There's been a couple of times now where I've gone over to talk to Cecil, or Cecil, whatever his name is, and one of my characters just walked right through the door, and that triggers him to, you know, kind of scold you, and it obviously it takes down some of your standing with him. So again, I would say close the door once you've looted all that. There's no reason really to keep it wide open like that, and again, your characters run the risk of walking into the room and making him angry. So again, I would highly recommend doing that. Now that was a bit risky. Like I was saying earlier, there is an NPC that paths up and down the stairs, so I could have been busted there. All right, let's steal this stuff right in front of Cecil. Cause why not? We got a cup. What is it? A cup and a piece of gold still here on the table. Yeah. All right. And I don't know why I spoke with I guess so. I spoke with Cecil there so that he wouldn't keep walking around. But you can't control the direction that he faces when he's sitting down.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer, huh? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Sicil, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Sicil through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. What? Oh, you mean Sicil? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake, and by source magic no less, weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such, sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Sicil. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. Jake, murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit, suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure. An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Sicil's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle. What of what now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though, for the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead. Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics. Ah, you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, well, they, Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly? Ah, the library. Yes, yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself. Please yourself. Let me know if you change your mind. You won't... Oh, yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they simply fantastic? I'm sure they'll get the job done in no time, especially with your expert hand lent to their cause. That machine Ahu built is an abomination. It must be stopped at all costs. I bet the wizard himself could provide some advice regarding how to destroy it. He's the mad scientist who crafted it after all.
Okay, so that's a ton of dialogue, obviously, with Cecil, the mayor. And now we're going to fire up a conversation with his cat, which obviously you need Pet Pal to initiate this.
One who flaunts the highways and byways of silly old Sicil with the easy elegance of a puss with her tail in the air. I do declare such a sight is rather rare around here. But where are my manners? I am Maxine, and you must be one of those hunters one hears so much about. I'm the mayor's cat, don't you know? Born and raised on velvets and viands of most exquisite varieties. Maxine rhymes with queen, after all, and dearest. That is hardly a coincidence. Oh, he's a darling old Tom, isn't he? Paws over tails in love with me, and who can blame him? The feeling's, well, it's rather mutual, actually. But that pet of a puss simply doesn't have a penny to his name. At the risk of sounding as shallow as a spaniel, I can't but admit my love does not come unconditionally. What if we were to have kittens, he and I? They'd jolly well starve, wouldn't they, with an alley cat for a papa? Oh, dear Sam, he's such a good old bean. But he does rather reside at the bottom of the scratching pole, doesn't he? And dear me, one must have at least a mite of standards. But of course, darling, be my guest. Oh, this quaint little town is a tad too parochial for one of my more urbane tastes. But one has to make do, hasn't one? The fresh sea air does go to great lengths to invigorate one's spirit, that much I'll admit. And it is rather jolly to watch the ships sail in laden with all kinds of exotic wares, full of the little treats the mayor likes to spoil me with. Darling man, he dotes on me so. Heavens forbid! No, fear is rather too strong a term there, Hunter dearest. The predator's instinct is a trait we share, you and I. And though those rancid ramblers may not be quite as easy to put to the claw as mice are, I assure you, they are just as easily outwitted.
What? Oh, it's you! What news? Maxine? What in heaven's name are you? Oh, you mean the mongrel that's always skulking about the place. I spent months trying to teach that worthless hound how to fetch, and it sat through every lesson looking at me as if I were an idiot. Man's best friend, my eye. I've always been more fond of cats myself.
Oh my god, okay. That's good stuff right there. Apparently Cecil thinks that Maxine is a dog, and he's like, oh, I was always partial to cats anyway.
Oh, what a sight for sore Sicilian eyes. Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now. Oh, he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. Oh, but of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Orius now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town. That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where.
Okay, so Charlene there has a little minor quest as well. Something to do with her brother, I believe. So we will get that down into the log. And now I'm going to... I think I'm going to steal everything from up here in the library. Yeah, there she is. There's Victoria. Okay. So this is Victoria, the librarian.
Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
I wanted her to get, or I wanted to get her to face the wall, but oh, what's going on there? Now she's still walking around. What? Oh, I was speaking to my my other character and not Victoria. I was like, what the heck is going on? Okay, that makes a little more sense now. Okay. All right, so now we got. Looks like we got him set up right, or I should say it'll do for now. This is. They're not, yeah, this is not a very good setup to steal here. I'm going to be running the risk of walking in front of somebody here. Okay, maybe we'll just, yeah, we'll do that side later. Okay, one other thing, now that I think about it, so Victoria herself has a book on her, something about the language of the fairies or something like that. I'm going to leave it on her for now, but we'll come back and buy that off of her later or steal it. I don't know if you can steal it actually or not. I guess we're gonna find out. But keep in mind that she's got that, and it's that's actually a kind of like a side quest item, I guess, for later. So, you know, once that actually becomes more relevant, I'll bring it up again, and yeah, obviously I'll have footage of obtaining it. The only thing I would say, I know there's been a couple of times I've played through the game and I couldn't find it on her, and I think what I did was in some of my other playthroughs, I don't know if I stole it from her or bought it off her and then, you know, accidentally sold it to a different merchant. So, you know, I guess be careful with that kind of stuff. There's I would say it's just a good idea to keep really well organized, and that's generally what I do. So when I obtain all the different books in the game, I always sell them to the same vendor. That goes for, you know, some of the other items in the game as well. Like the food vendor, I generally try to keep, you know, I sell my food items to those vendors. So just to, again, keep things organized, and it makes things easier to find later.
Amon-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicile toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amon-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
Okay, so there it is, the Forgotten Language of Fairy. So again, keep in mind that that's there. I will actually grab that later. I didn't really want to spend the money to buy it right now. It's not that bad. Oh, I did. I lied. Huh, I did buy it. Huh, okay, weird. Very weird. But again, I would say it's a good idea to either buy it now, which is what I did, or just again, keep in mind that it's there for later. I will bring that up, though, again, later once that becomes more relevant. We're talking, like, a long, long time from now. I won't be getting to that side quest for a very long time. But, yeah. Anyway, so Victoria is the librarian. She does have another side quest, or there's another side quest related to her that we'll do a little bit later. I'm probably going to finish it in more than one way, just because I want to see what happens. I've only ever made the outcome one way. So again, once we actually get there, I will test that out, because I'm curious to see what the other outcome of that side quest is. So here I'm just gonna read up on a couple of the books that I've found. There's the Language of the Fairy, and again, that'll be more useful later. Here I'm just flipping through the different books that I've got recently just to get the recipes into my recipe book. And then I had actually planned on selling all of my books that I wasn't planning on using to the fish vendor. That's where I kind of dump all of my books at. I really like this little the little town square here. It's kind of like the center of everything, and yeah, just a good place, I would say, to organize items, I guess, if that makes sense. So you know, again, like the books will all get sold, or I sell to the fish vendor. The potion type stuff I send or sell all to the alchemy vendor. Like any arrows and arrow parts, as well as grenade or like the throwing items, that I sell those all to the fletching vendor over there. So again, I like to keep everything kind of organized like that, just so if I decide I need that stuff later, I know right where to find it. So as always, though, I hope this guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes,